After being a well-known face on Fox News for years, Harris Faulkner startled viewers by announcing her plan to depart the network. Known for her tough interviews and 6 Emmy Awards, her resignation left many curious about what might come next. Both colleagues and admirers are making predictions about her next big move in the journalistic industry. Might this mark the start of an intriguing new phase in her professional life? You are not ready to learn the extraordinary circumstances that led to this unexpected shift. Harris Faulkner, from small town to Fox News, was born in Atlanta, Georgia on October 13, 1965, at Fort McPherson in Atlanta. Bobby R. Harris, the father of the subject, was a well-respected retired lieutenant colonel who completed 3 valiant tours of duty as a pilot in the United States Army. Faulkner moved around a lot as a military child, spending a considerable amount of time on a U.S. military installation in Stuttgart, West Germany, where her father continued to serve as a U.S. Army pilot. Before we go any further, there's an astonishing fact about Faulkner's early years that has stayed a secret. It will fundamentally alter your perception of what you already know about her. She received a Bachelor of Arts in Mass Communications from the University of California, Santa Barbara, where she finished her undergraduate studies. Her path in the media world was paved with this degree. In her first job, Faulkner worked as a freelance business journalist for LA Weekly, earning $50 for each piece. Her television career started with an internship at Los Angeles's KCOP TV, which eventually brought her to WNCT TV in Greenville, North Carolina, where she worked full-time as a reporter and anchor. Faulkner became a well-known figure on Kansas City television screens between the years of 1992 and 2000, when he was anchoring the evening news for WDAF-TV. She had unwanted and unsettling advances from someone she knew back in North Carolina when she was visiting this busy metropolis. She persevered in the face of these obstacles, eventually joining Minneapolis-St. Paul's KSTP-TV as an important part of their evening news crew. Her employment there came to an end in July of 2024, which made it possible for her to join the Fox News team in 2025. Beginning her tenure as a journalist at Fox News with the revival of A Current Affair, Faulkner showcased her reporting abilities until the show's cancellation in October of 2005. From the year 2011 to the year 2017, she was Fox Report Weekend's host. She also covered the 2018 midterm elections during this time, covering Shepard Smith on Shepard Smith Reporting and Martha McCallum on The Story in Shepard Smith's absence. Faulkner was a frequent guest on Red Eye before comedian Greg Gutfeld quit the show. She continues to appear frequently on his brand new nightly show, Gutfeld, and fills in as a co-host on The Five from time to time. April of the year 2014 saw Faulkner take on a new position as co-host of the afternoon Fox News show Outnumbered, where she contributed her distinct perspective and style. In 2017, she moved to host Outnumbered Overtime, where she put more of an emphasis on in-depth news stories than conversations. Motivated by her profound enthusiasm and knowledge, Faulkner began her own program, The Faulkner Focus, in the early months of 2101. There, she persistently showcased her commitment to meaningful news reporting. Following Tucker Carlson's resignation as Fox News Tonight host in June of 2023, Faulkner filled in for him. Her participation gave the program a fresh and vibrant viewpoint, ensuring that viewers received both intelligent and captivating news coverage. She made strong statements about the threats to religion, expressed her concerns for the safety of women and children, and humorously declared her pronouns as USA. At ABC's St. Paul station KSTP, Faulkner worked for 20 years. She won 4 regional Emmy Awards, including 2002, 2003, and 2004 for Best Anchor. In addition, she received an Emmy for her work on the news program Eyewitness to War. For her humanitarian endeavors, she was awarded the coveted Amelia Earhart Pioneering Lifetime Achievement Award in 1998. Her excellent reporting was honored in Variety's 21/21 New York Women's Impact Report in 2021. She was especially acknowledged in 2020 for her moving conversation with former President Donald Trump after George Floyd's untimely death. If you enjoy our content and want to support us, click on the Super Thanks button below. Your Super Thanks is not just a donation, it is a blessing that supports our mission to share the transformative journey of Jesus. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my future videos.
In addition to her career accomplishments, Faulkner has started to divulge more details about her personal life lately. Faulkner's military background reveals a more private side of herself as her career progresses, something many are unaware of. The life-changing Vietnam mission. Faulkner recently spoke with IN Kansas City from her Manhattan office. She discussed her background in the military, her passion for Kansas City barbecue and the Chiefs, and even a humorous tale about how she and her husband first got together. Her important journey to Vietnam, which she had previously described as a divine assignment, was also discussed, emphasizing the effects the trip had on her personally and professionally. She called this journey a military brat mission, referring to the sense of wonder her father's experiences in Vietnam had ingrained in her. Faulkner embarked on a voyage to Vietnam with a committed group of 7 people from Fox Nation, specifically with the goal of producing something unique for the streaming service. Finding the appropriate approach to memorialize Vietnam troops was their primary goal, given the contentious and tragic past connected to the conflict. She emphasized that while veterans of other wars are frequently honored and appreciated, those returning from Vietnam, like her father, encountered significant challenges and suffering. In closing, Faulkner discussed her unwavering fascination about the communist nation, which had been deeply entwined with American history. As she reflected on her trip to Vietnam, she referred to the 23-23 expedition as a continuation of her divine assignment, highlighting its twin relevance as a mission to expose the complicated legacy of the Vietnam War and a deep personal connection. Because of her military past, Faulkner's upbringing in a military family had a profound impact on his outlook on life and helped him acquire important traits like tenacity and adaptability. Being a child of the military, sometimes referred to as a brat, born, raised, and transferred, instilled in her a tremendous love and admiration for her nation. She frequently talks positively about her father's teachings on America's aspiration for greatness and his unwavering faith in the Constitution's ability to uplift the country. Her father, who served in the military during racial unrest, stressed the importance of Black people standing up for their country when called upon and considered his job as a higher calling. His dedication to his work and his strong belief in American ideals had a significant influence on Faulkner, shaping her opinions on patriotism and the deference due to those who serve in the armed forces. The anecdotes Faulkner told about her father, who passed away on Christmas morning in 2020, show him as a man who was always happy and could take on any problem in life with a smile. He taught math and physics after retirement because he thought it was important to mentor the next generation. According to Faulkner's memory, he was a constant source of optimism, who was dedicated to ensuring the prosperity of the following generation. Every Christmas since her father's peaceful death, the memories of his passing has made the occasion even more melancholy. He was meant to see her sister for brunch that morning, but he never showed up. Her sister was worried and sent their uncles to see how he was doing. They discovered he had passed away quietly in his sleep, thinking he had been called to his eternal home. Despite her loss, Faulkner takes comfort in the thought that her father was pain-free in his last hours, and continued to live up to his warrior nature. After a brief stay in Greenville, North Carolina, Faulkner recalls her broadcast beginnings in Kansas City. When talking about her early honors, such as her first Emmy and headliner prizes, she had a strong bond with Kansas City and considered it to be her real home, assimilating into the community. Concerns regarding her transparency on her faith were handled with assurances that she was in the right place. Her co-anchor and the larger news crew provided her with support amid natural disasters like tornadoes and floods, when her faith was inherently interwoven into her coverage. Her family's travels and business endeavors, such as the barbecue restaurant they founded that combined regional flavors with their family's history, strengthened her bond with Kansas City. She laughs as she describes how her parents encouraged her to reach important life milestones, such as the time her father spoke candidly about his experiences at an awards ceremony she attended. She also mentioned how much she cherished her parents' support, which had always been a foundation in her life, when it came to buying and remodeling her first home, which marked a crucial turning point in both her personal and professional lives. Faulkner sheds new light on what leadership and leaving a legacy mean to her through her reflections on her personal and professional lives, her faith and her work. Faulkner talked about her year of noteworthy accomplishments, the difficulties of juggling parenthood and her work, and her strategy for tackling important national issues. Throughout the conversation, she attributed her achievement to her unwavering will to carve out her own path rather than to pure luck. Speaking of her ideal legacy, Faulkner says that she wants to be known as a committed and caring mother, and she feels that this idea ought to pervade every area of her life. She is eager to impart in her two mixed girls the desire to make the world a better place, and to show them that kindness and compassion are qualities of strength. Regarding leadership, Faulkner emphasizes how important boldness and resilience are in overcoming obstacles. She emphasizes the value of persevering in the face of difficulties and critiques of her assertiveness, since she thinks that doing so is essential for both career and personal growth. She also mentioned how the expectations placed on women have changed in the modern world, highlighting how the younger generation now openly recognizes and values the power that women possess. Faulkner made a good observation on how society has come to perceive the phrase alpha female, which used to have a negative connotation, but now stands for advancement and female empowerment. Harris Faulkner expressed her intense feelings about conveying terrible news, especially on the terrible morning of the Sandy Hook massacre. She can still clearly recall the solemn funeral pulling up at the scene, which caused her to stop and give her audience a moment to process what had happened. She also discussed a noteworthy 20-minute conversation that she had with former President Donald Trump, which took place in the midst of the massive demonstrations that followed George Floyd's passing. Faulkner interrupted during the interview after Trump made remarks about the protests, emphasizing Floyd's final words, in which he asked for his mother. For her, this incident demonstrated the value of honest conversation over merely thought-provoking analysis. She also talked about how she has adjusted to working from home, highlighting how flexible she needs to be in order to manage her obligations to her family and her career. Proud of her accomplishments as a Black woman in charge of her own daytime television program, Faulkner indicated a great desire to influence conversations regarding women's roles in the workforce. Harris Faulkner is well known for her significant contribution to news broadcasting, particularly with the well-liked Fox News program Outnumbered. Viewers are curious about her future plans and how they might affect the show in light of her recent decision to leave the show. With her departure, it's unclear if Faulkner will look for other chances within Fox News or maybe outside of it. The reasons behind Faulkner's exit from Outnumbered and the show's future developments are left for viewers to speculate about. Faulkner's exit is a big loss for the program because of her contribution to its success. With her thought-provoking debates and perceptive observations, the program must now manage this transition, potentially changing its format or cast lineup to accommodate changing viewer tastes and guarantee its ongoing success. Among the noteworthy accomplishments of Faulkner's journalism career are her 6 Emmy Awards and her 25-year employment at Fox News. She has covered everything from live events at large state fairs to severe weather, her personal mission and her ongoing involvement in the media. With her most recent show, The Faulkner Focus, demonstrate her dedication to inspire others. Even though Faulkner was well known, other aspects of his career may not be as well known. She made history at Fox News by being the first female black anchor of a midday program. She became an anchor of Outnumbered Overtime after joining the show as a co-host in 2024, and she has continued to be an important voice in daytime programming ever since. Faulkner's origins can be found in her early years spent in the Midwest, where she launched her career in broadcasting and laid the foundation for her noteworthy accomplishments. An esteemed current position. She explained in an interview with the Canadian magazine In Between how her accomplishments go beyond only her personal goals and metrics. She underlined how significant it is that she is the only black woman presenter on her show, because she feels that this demonstrates real transformation and empowerment. As an anchor for Fox News, Harris Faulkner believes her position shows that she is appreciated and cherished. Given her gender, race, and employment at a conservative network, people frequently assume she has conservative political beliefs. Faulkner maintains his composure and optimism in spite of this. Large-scale events that impact her career as a journalist have some unexpected and profound effects on her life. How Faulkner's past shaped her. Faulkner clarified in a 2,000-word interview with the Associated Press that when people assume they know you completely based just on your appearance and occupation, you have the opportunity to prove them wrong in a positive way. She is well liked by her peers and has 6 Emmys to her name for accurate reporting. She was commended for doing her interview with former President Donald Trump in a professional manner at a pivotal moment in the Black Lives Matter demonstrations. She did a good job of remaining impartial during the interview, according to Bill Gruskin of the Columbia Journalism Review. He also remarked how Faulkner skillfully and sensitively handled bringing her personal experiences into the interview by speaking about her experiences as a black woman and a mother, something that is not frequently seen in journalism. Her response to Gruskin's essay was covered by the Twin Cities Pioneer Press, where she was seen to be both humble and proud. She discussed the value of reporting the facts with integrity and assertiveness, qualities she values important. She discussed how covering important events like the Oklahoma City bombing, the AIDS crisis in South Africa, and the case of Natalie Holloway in Aruba had a significant impact on her career in a separate interview with Fox News. Faulkner has stated that a number of people, including her family and celebrities like Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, Diane Sawyer, and Nelson Mandela, have had a significant impact on both her personal and professional lives. She was born in Atlanta, Georgia, and has had an international influence. Her unusual upbringing, according to Fox News, was brought about by her father's military postings, which sent her to several locations throughout the globe. including Stuttgart, Germany. She was exposed to a variety of cultures through these experiences, which also taught her how to accept change and adapt. Faulkner's first major work following graduation from the University of California, Santa Barbara, was in Los Angeles. Subsequently, she relocated to Kansas City, Missouri, and subsequently to Greenville, North Carolina. Her love of the Midwest has an impact on both her personal and professional life, because there is where she met her husband and where her career truly began to flourish. She told the Kansas City Star that she had pleasant memories of the incredibly silly early days as she looked back in time. Harris Faulkner is an ardent Kansas City Chiefs supporter and adores the Midwest in part because to her love of football. She loves the Chiefs, even though she now resides in New Jersey. During a lighthearted conversation with the Kansas City Star, she shared funny stories about her husband trying to find space for his sports memorabilia. She also decorates her home office with team gear and wears their colors on game days. She mentioned needing her own space and joked that he could only have the rug and the wall art because everything else was dedicated to her love for Kansas. She also mentioned how she missed her time singing the Star-Spangled Banner in front of 70,000 people at Arrowhead Stadium in 1989. Faulkner also talked about being portrayed in a lighthearted manner on Saturday Night Live. She told Chiefs Wire that singing there was an unforgettable experience, and that she always sings along to the national anthem whenever it plays, no matter where she is. In February 2021, she shared a throwback photo of that moment on Instagram right before the Chiefs played in the Super Bowl. Leslie Jones portrayed her in a comedy sketch in April of 2018. Faulkner told the Twin Cities Pioneer Press that Jones truly captured her spirit and that the tribute felt surreal. Later, Jones portrayed her again, and this time Faulkner felt they looked and sounded even more alike. They even wore the same ice blue dress she had worn, making the whole thing seem like a dream. Although impersonations haven't always been welcomed, she appreciated how well Jones performed on Saturday Night Live, even mimicking her down to the false eyelashes. And she took the whole thing in stride. In October of 2018, she told Variety that she'd be happy if Jones played her in a movie, especially if it involved serious acting. Tell us what you think. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Harris Faulkner left Fox News in 2015. But is there more going on behind the scenes? CNN Money reports that in 2000, Faulkner sued Hasbro for using her name without her consent for a toy hamster in their Littlest Pet Shop collection. She claimed this hurt her reputation as a journalist and falsely implied she endorsed the product. If you enjoy our content and want to support us, click on the Super Thanks button below. Your Super Thanks is not just a donation. It is a blessing that supports our mission to share the transformative journey of Jesus. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my future videos. Thanks for watching. Make sure to click the video on your screen.